It's November 2nd, 2024, and we are here with Superspreder. So if you guys just go in whatever order, name, age, I guess you're all based out of Philadelphia, and or if not, let us know, and what you play in the band.
Okay. My name is Sam. I am 27. I do live in Philly, and I play guitar and sing.
Hi guys, my name is Caden, 28 M. I live here in this apartment that we're at. I play bass mainly. I dabble in tambourine as well.
I'm Jordan, 29. I live in Philly. I play keys, mostly.
I'm Joe. I turn 28 next week, actually.
Congrats.
Woo! Happy birthday!
Thank you. And I live in Delaware, actually. I do not live in Philadelphia. I live in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
And I play drums. And I sing sometimes.
Nice.
Cool.
So what genre or type of music would you guys say you guys play in the band?
Mostly like classic psychedelic rock, I'd say probably. What do you guys think?
I think there's some punk and hard rock is what I would usually tell people. Fast and loud.
There's some blues in there, too.
Yeah, people like that we have a little bit of blues influence. And
we span a couple of different genres sometimes.
We also have a keyboard player, which people like a lot, and kind of blends the genres.
Mm-hmm. How long have you guys been playing together?
Well, individually, there are three. I know each of them from three different periods of playing music. Me and Jordan went to high school together and played in our jazz band together. So we've been playing music together for a long time. And then during college at Pitt, Joe and I were in a band called Wild Love, which was like rock. We played original songs, and it was a little psychedelic, a little bit like
A little, like,
blues rock.
like I guess a little reggae-ish at times. A little, like, kind of like beachy vibes.
Yeah,
Beachy vibes.
surfy, yeah, for sure. But also definitely listening back was some like pre-Superspreder songs in that band. And then a year later, Caden and I were roommates, and we were in a band with our other two roommates called Dr. J's Neighborhood.
Nice.
And we played for a year. We did a lot of house shows at this one house in Pittsburgh. Did we play anywhere else besides Pat's house? Yeah, we played this one house like 5 times.
We really just got like we live not close to other houses, so really we would just mix up these massive pitchers of Long Island iced tea at around 8:30, and we would just go down to the basement and we would just go crazy and jam until around 2, and then we would go to sleep, and then we would sleep in and just do it the next day.
Weekends were like 3 days straight of that.
Beautiful.
So he was learning bass at the time. I played guitar. Our other roommate had like a year or 2 on guitar, and so then the fourth guy, we were just like, "You're gonna play the drums," and so then we started a band.
Awesome.
Cool.
So Superspreder has been the last 2 years, but between us, we've been playing music together for a long time.
Nice.
How did Superspreder specifically form?
Well, 3 years ago, during lockdowns, we decided to have a garage jam at Sam's parents' garage. And he invited, I think it was initially the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. And then you started adding a bunch of other people.
We started having keyboard players come and hang.
We had different keyboard players. And then eventually, I don't think Jordan came to one of those. shows. He came to one, maybe.
No, it's hard to get a hold of Jordan sometimes.
Eventually,
If only he could have come to this interview, man.
Caden was living in Philly, and Joe lived in Wilmington, and I was living in Maryland like for a year during the pandemic, and then I moved to Philly, and then I was like, okay, we're all in the same place basically. Let's get the band going. And then a couple months later, Jordan wanted to join, so then he moved. He lives in Manayunk, and
Well, I think you asked me to.
oh, I thought you asked to join.
No, you
He begged you to join.
you definitely came to practice and
Asked
were like,
me
I'm
to
trying
play.
to get my friend to play keyboard. Like he's
Oh,
just
okay.
free. I need him to play.
Yeah, so Jordan moved to Manayunk, and then we got him in.
Awesome.
Cool.
Rewriting history here.
How do you come with the name Superspreder?
No, okay.
So well before the pandemic, we were just like, shooting shit in the backyard around the fire, drinking beers, and we were like, this is like probably 2018, well before the pandemic, and we were
2019.
just like, man, Superspreder, that would be such like a sick band name. And then like we Googled it, and like not a lot of results came up and stuff, and it was like you could like, if there were a pandemic, like there would be these events where like people are really spreading the disease around. What do you know? Like right after
So it's your fault.
right after that, this Superspreder name is all over everywhere, and all these other bands are naming themselves Superspreder.
I think we, like, the next day, Dan, our other roommate at that house, was like, did you guys hear about this thing with, like, these pigs getting sick in China? Yeah.
Wait, you really named the band before?
Yeah, well before. Way before.
Dang.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
You manifested the entire pandemic, guys.
You're welcome.
Cool. So then, for each of you guys, did you all go to Pitt? Like, if you went to school, like, what'd you major in? Where'd you go?
Me and Joe went to Pitt. Caden went to Duquesne. Jordan went to Tulane. I studied statistics.
I studied supply chain.
I majored in Riz.
I did engineering, let's say.
Tell us
the real story.
Tell us the real story, Jordan. The people want to know.
I don't want to go into. It's like something called engineering physics.
Oh, okay.
It's just like you take a bunch of engineering classes and a bunch of physics classes.
But there's other
What
stuff
about
along
after
the
that?
way. Yeah.
What do you mean?
What did you do after that?
That was at Tulane.
Yeah.
All right.
After that,
Yeah, after that.
I went to NYU for a master's program in music technology, but I dropped out after like half a year because it was expensive. And I don't know.
Was there anything after that?
Nope, nothing after that.
Fair enough.
You got a lot out of that half year though.
It was fun. I met some cool people. I learned some stuff.
Jordan is really good at digital creation, like rendering things in like Blender or the video editing softwares.
Nice.
Cool. I guess that actually ties into sort of our next question, which is like outside of music, what kinds of other art or hobbies or work do you guys do?
What do you do?
We really like Sam and I like the bread and butter of Superspreder. We play League of Legends so much. Like
Dang.
we really just play a lot of League of Legends.
What position do you play?
What position? Let's go. This is an interview. Okay. So, ideally, Sam goes bot lane, and ideally he plays like Misfortune, Jinx. He fucking slays Misfortune. I'll do support.
Okay.
He likes me to play Leona. I like playing Leona. He doesn't say it, but if I'm like I'm playing Senna, he's like, oh. But yeah, so I'm usually support, but I'll play everything but jungle basically.
Fair enough.
I'll play whatever, which usually ends up playing jungle, which I'm not good at, but
Yeah, so if you're
it's
listening
like,
to this
if
right
you
now,
don't pick one, you just get that assigned to you.
if you're listening to this, add me on League of Legends. It's XX pushing P XX.
And I'm Shrek with a CK.
We'll queue up. We'll climb the ladder together.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll ask me to hop on Discord to like talk about stuff, and then I think we're having a conversation. They're just playing League of Legends in the background, so I'm like talking to them, and then they start saying, "I don't play the game, so
You gotta get the grubs.
yeah."
He's got to download. He's got to install. I tell everyone to uninstall except for this guy. He needs to install.
I'm never gonna play League of Legends.
I practice guitar a lot, so I'm always in this struggle of like how much time I allot to practicing in League.
You practice?
I practice basically every day.
I could not notice.
That's not even true. If you haven't noticed how I'm just surpassing you and exceeding, and you're like this, and I'm like this.
Well, it's a vocal interview, Sam. There's no camera, so no one knows what you just do with your hands.
Well, the slope of your line is a lot less.
We're just joking around.
Are we?
For our non-league players, hobbies or things that are other video games.
We play in other bands.
Yeah.
We like to play in other bands and play a lot of music all the time.
Oh,
But don't
and
say
the
the
League of
name.
Legends players don't play in other bands? Dream Index, shout out!
I used to play Rocket League, but I stopped playing.
It's the wrong type of league.
Switch leagues.
Alright. Cool.
Yeah, so back on the subject of music. What are your guys' musical influences?
What bands do you like?
Individually and then as a whole for Superspreder.
I'd say, like, as a group, easily our number one influence, like, is really the Beatles. We listen to the Beatles, we play the Beatles. It's all about the Beatles. At the end of the day, no other bands come close to influencing us as much as the Beatles.
By the way, we're playing a show tonight at Thumblin' Perks, and we're going to play Beatles covers.
Yeah,
so if you
we're
want to come,
playing
you can check
Beatles.
them out.
That's really our passion, is
I don't
the
think
Beatles.
this is gonna get.
Probably not going to hear it by then, but just so you have some context on what we're talking about here today.
You guys,
If you saw them at Fumbling Perks,
Yes.
that was
Yes.
Superspreder.
Yeah.
You may have thought it was the Beatles, but
Yes.
we were just playing our biggest influence.
Um,
And not a lot of bands are influenced by the Beatles, which is interesting because they're huge, but they really don't influence other bands besides us.
Who?
The Beatles.
never heard of them.
All right, anyone? Other people say are
yeah.
influenced?
I'm gonna name drop Kurt Vile and Jay Mascis as big influences. I've seen them both a bunch of times, and I'm seeing Jay Mascis in Philly the night before we play the Silver Age. Yeah, I'm also learning country guitar heavily. So I have some country guitar influence also.
Cool. You guys bands you like?
I was really influenced by classic rock when I was a kid, so I was really into that.
Like what bands?
Pink Floyd, The Who. I really love The Who. They're the best. The Beatles, of course. The Doors. Genesis, yeah. Genesis.
We were the
Are
Doors
you-
last Halloween.
Are you Peter Gabriel Genesis or you Phil Collins Genesis?
I like both eras of Genesis.
But if you had to pick one,
which
one would you pick?
Probably.
And why?
I'll be controversial and say the Phil Collins Genesis. There's a lot of.
So I like Queens of the Stone Age. I like Lewis Cole. I like all the classic rock stuff. I think we all probably share that.
Just there's a
Background.
lot of Beatles, really.
Yeah, my middle name is Lennon.
Yeah.
Steve Lore.
That's not a lie.
L-E-N-N-O-N, not L-E-N-I-N, just to confirm.
Correct. Yeah, I do get that question a lot.
That's good. That's good. The correct one.
Cool. So then, when you're writing stuff for Superspreder, what does the writing process look like? How do you guys come up with stuff?
Similar to like how the Beatles did it. Really, like we're usually in the studio, and
Which Beatle would
That's
you say
not
you
how
are?
the Beatles did.
Sam just starts playing a riff, and the rest of us are like keep that going, and we just like
In that version of this, Caden would be a Ringo.
how did the
Where
Beatles
he
do it?
shows
Joe?
up with a song sometimes about like an octopus.
Usually, the guys would write songs on their own and then bring it in.
Yeah,
Sometimes, I think they wrote in
Yeah,
studio.
so-
very rarely.
like what he said.
I could-
How the Beatles would write on their own and bring it in. That's basically what we do.
I write a lot of our songs. We also have pulled in some songs that people have like written separately from this band and then like kind of arranged it. So like Jordan has this song that we play called Goth Girl, and you can actually find the like original recording of this on his SoundCloud page, which is a treasure trove. Like
What? Yeah, it is. What's your at on SoundCloud?
I don't even
Say
know.
it. No,
find
like
it, find it. Well,
if
I'll-
you're ever
hold on.
bored on like a Tuesday evening, like just go on Jordan's SoundCloud and let it
Yeah.
rip, let it ride.
It's actually a very deep treasure trove.
There's one song called like "Every Day I Sit on My Ass," and it's like, it's great. It's like the most relatable song.
So Goth Girl. Now we play. Caden wrote the lyrics and the music. A lot of the music
Fuck, what
to
did you see?
Catfight. That's another one, and we play this song called "Give Me Some Money," which was originally from the movie This Is Spinal Tap. But I like taking old songs and then like writing the music, but keeping the lyrics.
Don't sue us.
Yeah, like
But our goal is to meet what's his name? Chuck McGill, the actor who sang
yeah.
in This Is Spinal Tap.
Chuck McGill, if
Is-
you're listening to this, no, not Chuck.
Yeah,
Chuck McGill. That's not his name.
Saul's brother.
Yeah, in the show, Chuck McGill is his brother.
Yeah, that's the guy, the actor.
Saul, if you're listening to this, we want to meet you.
Dude,
Sue
I
us.
want to meet Chuck
Saul,
McGill.
Chuck
Bob,
McGill.
you
don't
might
wanna
have
meet
to-
Chuck
Yeah, what's his real
McGill.
name, Jordan?
Why do we want to meet him?
Because he's a fucking legend.
He's from
like-
Spinal Tap.
He's the singer
Oh,
in Spinal
really?
Tap. Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
If you're listening to this, what's his real name, Jordan?
Michael McKean.
Yeah,
Michael
we
McKean.
just recorded your song, so we'll see you in
Yeah,
court.
we just recorded it. It's gonna be released. Your lyrics. We'll see you in court.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or you can call us and we can work it out.
You can give us some money.
Yeah. So give me some money. We just recorded that, and Joe produces our music.
What's the production process like?
Honestly, I think in the beginning it was like we had the ability to record like those garage jams. I brought a bunch of my recording stuff over,
Yeah.
and we just kind of recorded those sessions. And then from there, we were like, oh, we like some of the stuff we did that was original. Let's put like a hard copy down. But now I feel like it's more, we work the songs out, we play them live a little bit, and then once they're like solid, because they morph a little bit once you play them live. I feel like once they're solid, that's when we go, okay, let's record something. And
The first two Superspreder songs were brain scraper, which is a nickname for the COVID test that goes like all the way up your nose and scrapes your brain. And Your Virus, Give It To Me. And yeah, those were like really locked down. I was like in my room, all I had was my guitar and like a week's worth of clothes for a reason that I don't want to get into. But then I wrote both of those songs, and then I was like, guys, come over and play these songs. Socially distanced outdoor jam in the garage.
Yeah, we made like a demo in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's a
then-
really good video of us playing Your Virus in the garage.
Nice.
As far as themes go, apart from the obvious contagion,
Virus core.
virus, do you have like other kinds of themes that you often explore in writing?
Cats.
The Beatles theme, like basically, like you know, like the crazy outfits, like the British accents. We got all that.
We have at least one song that references cats. There's another one where he wanted to buy a bass amp, and he was like, come with me, I don't feel safe going to this Craigslist sale myself.
Yeah, cause I looked it up on Google Maps. Obviously, if you're gonna go to a deal
In New Jersey.
you gotta know like what's going on.
Yeah.
It was a fucking straight up junkyard. Like I looked that shit up, aerial view, junkyard. I was like, this is the perfect place to murder someone. So I brought Sam with.
And this dude's name was Jimbo, and we listened to Mudhoney a lot on the way there, and then sometimes when I'm writing, like something will happen or a conversation, and I just like think about it a lot for like 2 days, and then on the third day I'll just wake up and like write the lyrics to a whole song, and that is how we wrote Jimbo's Junkyard. So there's also junk themes.
Shout out to Jimbo.
Yeah.
Love the amp.
We'd love to collaborate again. I want to shoot a music video at the Junkyard.
Love
but
the
he's
amp.
kind of afraid.
Love the amp. Love your dog. Everything. The amp sounds great, Jimbo.
What kind of amp is it?
It's an Ampeg V4. I got a nice Ampeg cab, the bass cab to go with it. Didn't sound too great on the guitar cab, but it's ripping, Jimbo. You would love it.
What else? Yeah.
Life experiences, I guess. A lot of them are life experiences.
Yeah, like the Goth Girl song.
I think the overall theme is just weird things. Singing about out of the ordinary stuff, like
Similar to the Beatles, just like anything that comes up, just like you just
You go
say
for it,
random
yeah.
fucking shit about it, and that's a song. That's a hit.
Oh, cool. So next is which Beatle would you say that you relate to most on a spiritual level, and then like which one are you in the band?
I would say definitely John Lennon for me, because I have the name, and so I grew up with that mindset. I think this is a funny story. It's very quick. People would always ask me when I was a kid, like, oh, are your parents hippies? And I was like, no, they're like super normal, like boring adults, like parents. And then at some point it just hit me. I was like, oh, they were hippies. Like that didn't register to me as a kid. But yeah, definitely John Lennon.
Yeah, basically, I would say as far as which Beatle, for me, probably John Lennon. Like I personally, growing up, like have had bad vision, and it requires me to wear glasses, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse, so I have to keep wearing glasses. Just like John Lennon wearing glasses. Same thing. That's how I relate to John Lennon when it comes to writing music.
The only Beatle who wore glasses.
Jordan?
JD.
I would say George Harrison from what?
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, George Harrison, he's my favorite Beatle. I really like All Things Must Pass, that double album he made right after the Beatles. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So I'm supposed to say something, and the people in the room are trying to control me, but I'm not going to say what they're trying to get me to say. And I think that George Harrison is the best Beatle because George had the best solo career songs. He had the best contributions and riffs to the hits, and I think he was the most skilled guitar player of the three. Now, I love John Lennon. Don't get me wrong. I love John Lennon's aggressive guitar playing, but I think George Harrison is just a little bit better and a little bit more creative. And when you watch that documentary that came out,
I never saw
everything out of George Harrison's mouth, even when he throws a fit, I'm 100% here for him. Because he's like, everything, he wants it to go the right way, and they're not setting him up for success. And he's just like, I'm out of here. And he leaves. And I'm like, yeah. Like, don't come back, dude. Don't do it. But that's just my feeling.
Alright, if we're not committing to the bit, yeah, George Harrison's my favorite Beatle too. His solo career is the best, like his music is the best, he's just great. Like he's the most attractive. Yeah, he's my favorite Beatle as well. I thought we were committing to this whole John Lennon thing, but apparently not.
The other Beatles, dude? Are you just saying what the person before you said?
No, George Harrison is the best Beatle.
I'm not changing my answer.
His middle name's Lennon. Obviously, he's being honest.
No, I definitely. I do like Wings, but George Harrison's music is really beautiful, and I have, I'm really into Jimi Hendrix also, and I think it's really cool.
He's not in the Beatles.
Listen to what I'm fucking saying. I think it's very cool that when you learn George's parts and the way he played guitar was actually definitely from a similar school to Jimmy's rhythm playing. And they were also buddies. I think Ringo and Jimi Hendrix were roommates for a while. So I definitely think that George and Jimi Hendrix shared some guitar tips.
Cool. So we've got 2.5 more questions.
Yeah.
What are you guys working on now as a band, if anything? You guys have a show tonight, show coming up. You guys playing a lot.
We have an EP coming out soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
We just recorded 4 songs. We've played them live a lot, but the recordings are going to be really good. And I think the plan at the Silver Age is also to play at least 2 or 3 or maybe more new songs that we've been working on.
Nice.
That we've never played before at a show, and then we'll probably play the stuff from that EP also.
Cool.
Nice.
You know when the EP's coming out or what it's called?
There's been some delays in the EP.
We
It
can't
was recorded,
say exactly when it's going to come
It'll
out.
probably just be self-titled.
It was recorded within the last year, and
It'll be out before the end of the year.
Really?
I
about
think
the-
it'll be out
what about the
either
end of the
year or beginning of next year.
Yeah, beginning
First
beginning
quarter
of
next year.
We don't
By
want to
the end-
compete with the Christmas.
Yeah. By the end of
thing.
this year or by the end of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the next 5 years, for sure.
So yeah, we've got some new songs we're gonna play, and we've got some more recorded music coming out. That's mainly what we're doing.
Awesome. Our last main question then, why are you guys musicians?
Well, you got an answer?
I mean, for me, basically just listening to the Beatles, listening to Paul McCartney lay down that fucking bass.
Oh, I thought you said that George Harrison was your favorite, dude.
Yeah, but I play bass, and I listen to Paul McCartney play that bass, and I'm like, I'm not gonna play bass.
Then why didn't you say that when we were asking about the...
I'll never be able to play
Yeah,
George Harrison. He's
dude.
too good. He's too good. He's the best Beatle. I can't play those parts. Paul McCartney, I could play that.
We're all unified. And
All right, you go.
all right. Yeah, definitely the Beatles. Except I'm not lying. No, I think Sgt. Pepper's was one of the first albums that I had. I had the CD, and I also had like the Greatest Hits album. I was really into like the Rolling Stones. Like I was really into the boomer bands when I was like 10.
Wait, when you say boomer band, what do you mean exactly?
The Beatles and the Stones.
What do you mean by boomer band?
The boomers liked them.
What's a boomer exactly?
You need me to explain a baby boomer to
Yes.
you? A boomer is somebody who was born after World War II in a huge proliferation of procreation. And, yeah, they were listening and rocking out in the 60s, but they were born in, like, late 40s to 50s.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So the Beatles though and the Stones are not boomers themselves. They were a little older. But yeah, that was when I started playing guitar, and then I just kept going. It's very cathartic.
I think I saw... My first concert was the White Stripes in
Oh, that's sick.
an opera house in Delaware, and it was still... I've seen many concerts, stadium arena shows, small house shows. Still to this day, that is the loudest concert I've ever been to. And I think the fact that that was the loudest concert I've ever been to, not just because it was the first concert, but the fact that that's the loudest show I've ever been to with just 2 people, like, blew my mind. And I was like, holy shit, playing music is awesome. You can have nobody on stage and you can still emit this huge feeling that shakes a whole house. I got to get my hands on that. And I grew up around music and stuff too. My dad plays guitar. So, you know, my brother plays music, my sister plays music. So we were all just kind of growing up around it and playing with each other, with other people, and just all the time. So. And I actually have to go. You can cut this out. I actually have to go to pick up my fiance, but I'll be back in 40 minutes maybe.
Sounds good.
Alright, see you,
No
Joe.
rush. Yeah, we'll see.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Your turn?
Sorry about that.
No one
No, you
knows.
So my parents forced me to take piano lessons when I was a kid. I didn't really care one day or another about them. And then something just clicked in my head, and I became obsessed with music for some reason. I don't really know why. Probably just because music's awesome. And then I just started playing, like, every day, so much, like, constantly. Every day after school, I'd just go to the piano and just play for hours and hours. I did that for, like, 10 years, probably. So then, at that point, you get pretty comfortable on your instrument, and then it's like you can just kind of do whatever you want. And then it just becomes fun, because you're, like, free to just play anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
So freedom and creativity.
Cool.
That's what I like.
So then, is there anything we missed that we should have asked you guys about?
Things you want included.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'm
retroactively
1 second.
answer some questions for him.
Okay, I'll be right there. Sorry guys, the Papa John's here. I'll be right back. Just gotta go grab it for my boy.
Very important.
Perfect. Okay, when I met him, literally the only band he knew was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I was like, we're gonna play this song by a band called Dinosaur Jr. And he was like, "Oh, is that like Nirvana?" And I was like, okay." And that sent him into like that scene. He's actually obsessed with Sonic Youth. And yeah, he's a Flea fanatic.
Cool. Yeah, okay. And then just how can people find your stuff?
Yeah, just come to our houses or no. We have an Instagram. It's Superspreder _PHL. There's no A in Superspreder. And we're also on Spotify and all those music things. Joe set us up. We have a YouTube channel too with some cool live videos, and there's some good videos people have taken of us at shows on YouTube. This guy, Delco Jams, goes to like shows all over and takes nice videos. I mean, they're on his phone, but he has a YouTube channel with a bunch of videos. And we play roughly monthly, so that's really the best way.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing the interview.
Thank you. It was fun.